My name is John Petrin. Welcome to Town Administrator's Corner. So what we try to do at the show is talk about the town, the things we do for operational viewpoint within the town of Burlington. Today I have special guests with me, Brendan Egan, who's our Director of Recreation.
Hi.
And John Sanchez, Director of Public Works. And what we'd like to do today is talk about a new public works facilities. We're going to show you some buildings today that I hope you agree with us that have seen their better days. Buildings are in difficult shape, and what we're going to be doing at this town meeting is proposing a new facility. It'll be a combined facility in two locations between Public Works and Recreation Maintenance facilities. So we're going to talk first today about the facilities we currently have. We'll do a little tour through our facilities, and then we'll talk about the plan for the new combined facility. The total cost of that is $31.5 million. That also includes the renovation of the fuel tanks, which is actually housed right behind the town hall annex and the fire station in the center of town. So there's three parts to that project. The first will be in the first phase one will be to create at the Clark and Reid site a new public works facility there for recreation maintenance and for what we call central maintenance, which takes care of all of the vehicles in the town. And then including in that phase, I forget, we'll redo the fuel tanks at Town Hall. And then phase two, which will be in a couple of years, probably 2 to 3 years down the road, we'll seek the funds for that. That'll be for the renovation of a new facility at the current highway barn. So today we're starting here at the Grand Palace of the Recreation Maintenance facilities. So Brendan, you want to give us a little background on this?
Sure. The whole facility up here on Edgemere Ave is a former Nike missile site, and the town took it over in the late 60s, early 70s to house their recreation maintenance garage. There are 4 different buildings on site. One houses our garage here with all of our equipment. We have another building that has some smaller equipment and we store supplies. It has our wood shop in it, and then it has some storage for recreation programs as well. And then we have the one of the old barracks buildings is now a community theater. So the theater group of Burlington has their Players Theater up here. So that building is used for a theater. And then we have a fourth storage building that has seen its better days. It has out of use equipment in it, and really, hopefully when the site is redeveloped or a new site is built for us, that building goes away completely. The other ones, we'd like to keep the storage building for storage still. The theater, we'd like to see them here, and this building behind us, I don't know what you'd do with this.
Yeah, this building looks like it's seen its better days. Seems like it's in difficult condition, and I know I've just walked it with you, and people will be able to see that things are deteriorating very fast within this building.
They are. It's an old steel structure. The steel goes right to the ground, so the rust, started years ago and has just worked its way up. It's got the steel panel, and that's starting to pull away. We've reattached it as many times as possible, but it gets bumped and broken off again. So we're starting to see the rust from the inside, coming up the girders and up through the steel panels. And it's air conditioned year round, unfortunately. So we have wildlife in there, birds, raccoons, squirrels, all the time.
Have we had integrity issues such as water and so on?
We do. The roof leaks. Where there was any kind of insulation, a lot of it's hanging. The guys have been really good about working in here the last couple of years and putting the insulation back up. We've had a company come in and put netting up for the birds to keep them from coming in and hopefully sealing off as much as they could from the outside. But again, it is a 40-year-old building that is seen its better days.
And it probably wasn't built to handle this type of activity that we have today within here.
Right, and this building behind us, the steel building, houses our maintenance quarters, so the break room and the locker room facility, some storage rooms, an office, and then our repair shop as well, our maintenance repair. So it has seen its better days. There's not much room left to move, with everything in here. We try to keep as much of our equipment indoors as possible.
So what you folks are going to be seeing with some of the scenes that are playing as we're talking here will be the facilities inside. You're going to see, as Brendan has pointed out, the walls are in difficult condition. The exterior siding, if we can call it that, you know, is really pulling away from the building, has very difficult areas. And your equipment, how much space is in here? Are you getting everything stored inside?
Yeah, there's less than 5,000 square feet total in this building, so we have trucks that are stored outside. All our trailers are stored outside, which is okay, but we're finding it tight for the attachments for the equipment. We're putting more things outside. We've had to gate it off and lock it off at night, which it used to be wide open. That has helped a little bit, but we're running out of indoor space for equipment that really needs to be attachments that need to be stored indoors.
So I also see we're in a residential neighborhood, so behind us, so actually you drive through a residential neighborhood to get to your facility here.
We do. We are in a residential neighborhood. Over the years, there's been difficulty with neighbors, but right now we have a good relationship with them. We have a fence that needs to be repaired from time to time, and the neighbors remind us when they can see through and see what we're doing. We'd rather be quiet neighbors here and just come and go quietly, but the building in a residential neighborhood doesn't fit in well.
So I think what folks will see is, substandard facilities as a whole. So substandard facilities for storing our equipment, integrity, but also for our employees. When you see the office space that we have, the restroom facilities, the general area, for employees, it's not in great shape at this time.
It is not at all. So, like I said, the staff has been really good about working out of here. We've talked about a building for a long time. We're happy to see it moving forward, and we hope that the residents see the same value in a new building that we do.
So I think, again, to recap this section, this is the recreation maintenance facility. It's in the Windmere section, of town, and off a residential neighborhood. And what we have here is a facility built in the 60s that its integrity is being questioned at this time. So how many more years do we have with this building? We're unsure. We are at this point putting some money into it to maintain it, but not a lot of money because it's not worth that value. So again, what we're looking to do is take recreation maintenance. How many people in recreation maintenance?
We have 9 full-time.
9 full-time, and then of course seasonal help during the summer. Up to 10 in the summer, so we have up to 19, working the summer, plus all the equipment we have. And again, we're looking to transfer them to what we call the Clark and Reid property on Great Meadow Road, and put the facilities in there, and it'll be tied with central maintenance for Public Works. And it'll also just be down the street from the highway division, because sometimes equipment can be shared, between the departments, and this will give a better working relationship with those folks there as well. So at this point, we're going to make our way over to the highway facility. Actually, we're going to go to the water. I always forget about that little building. So we're going to go across the street from the highway bond to the water sewer division and take a look at the facility there. Then we'll go to highway, and then we'll be finishing off at the Clark and Reid site and showing you the plans for our new facility. As we're discussing here, new Public Works facility for Public Works and Recreation Maintenance, we're in the second part of our tour, which is our Water and Sewer Department out on Great Meadow Road right across from the highway bond. And you're going to see these buildings are actually in better shape than Recreation Maintenance, only because they're brick and concrete, but they are in difficult condition as well. We were just looking at a few spots in here where the brick is pulled away from the concrete, and we got a lot of problems with this building.
Yeah, well, John, the first thing I want to say about this facility is that the interesting thing is this is not a water and sewer facility. This actually was our main drinking water well that the town had at one point, and
the original pump station.
The original pump station, and we actually reconditioned the buildings to be actually our new offices. And believe it or not, it's an upgrade to our guys. Prior to this, they used to work at the sewer pump station. That was their office.
Oh, wow.
So actually, they're moving up. They're moving up in facilities. But yeah, you can see the condition of both buildings, the garage behind us and the office on the other side. I mean, they've done their work. and it's about time to get them replaced.
So what you're going to see in the photos or the film that you're seeing as we're talking here is going to be, there's two buildings here. So one is the actual pump station facility, which houses the main area for our employees. And then in the building, the second building with 3 stalls, 2 are being used for storage, and then the other is actually a workstation and office. I go in there and I see lockers for the employees, I see a couple of stations, a couple of desks for employees to use, and then I see the workbenches, right behind. So this is not exactly what we have, this is what we're using, to treat our employees at this point for workspace.
Right, and the other thing is not conducive for the work we do, the maintenance work, and what we're looking forward to is having a facility with workshops where we can store materials and equipment that we need.
Right.
And you see from the tour of these facilities that we do the work out of these buildings. However, it's not really conducive to the work we need to do.
And what about our vehicles? Do we have storage space for all our vehicles at this time?
Well, absolutely not. I mean,
Right.
we try to, if you look at what we have indoors, we try to keep as much equipment as we can indoors. So we use every nook and cranny of any building to actually do that. But no, unfortunately, we have to keep the equipment outside.
And we have only one other storage area. Out on Wilmington Road, there's a 1-car garage, basically, for one piece of equipment there that we store.
Correct, and we've been utilizing the Clark and Reid for
yeah.
our what we call it emergency response equipment that we need right away, like a backhoe or a Vector that we need to have in a heated place. So we've been using that facility over the last couple of years just to have another place that we can work out of.
All right, so our next phase, we're going over to our highway bond facility and showing you our highway department. Okay, here we are, part 3. We're at the highway bond. So we've seen recreation maintenance, we've seen water sewer, and now we're at highway. And we switched sides. John wanted to get his good side on this view, so he said switch sides here. So here we are, we're in the central maintenance part of the highway facility. And what we have here is 2 bays only for all our vehicles, central maintenance, and we have a couple of lifts, a system here to work on vehicles. But it's certainly not enough to maintain the fleet we have.
Well, as you know, we maintain over 100 vehicles and pieces of equipment in the town, and 2 bays is really, really small, particularly in the wintertime. When we are doing maintenance or repairs on a vehicle, say we're working on this sander and some other vehicle has a problem,
yeah.
We sometimes have to actually push the vehicles out of here, literally push them, and get something we need to repair back in, make the repairs, get it out. It's not really what we need for the size of the operation that we have. I mean, you see the space is pretty tight. Obviously, you see the lifts that we have. It's not really able to lift the equipment that we have. It just that works just with the police cruisers right there, the one you're looking at. So yeah, we definitely need a new facility where we have equipment big enough to take care of the needs we have.
How long has this building been here?
60s.
60s.
Since the 60s.
Since
yes.
the 60s. So, and we've not, it's just not big enough. We can't get all our equipment in. So what you're going to see from the shots on the site, is that we've got trucks that we're storing outside. We got all our snow blade equipment, outside, which really should be covered. I mean, these items should be interior.
Well, unfortunately, I mean, we don't have any additional space, as you can see from the views that you're going to have later. I mean, snow plows will sit outside. Some of the equipment we temporarily have placed at Clark and Reid, some of it under tents in this facility,
yeah.
Just to try to make the equipment last longer. But plows are like $9,000 to $10,000 a piece, and we have to leave them outside for the rest of the season. Sanders, once that we're removing from the trucks for work during the summertime, we also have to leave them outside. This is not really what you want to do with equipment as pricey as what we have here.
So what we're doing, and you'll see from the shots, we got our equipment crowded into as much as we can get into the bays that we currently have, and then the rest of it's being held outside.
Right, and we play it according to the season. So
yeah.
some stuff that we need in the winter we'll keep inside. When the season switch, then we'll switch out the equipment. I mean, our sweeper, which we're using right now, is indoors. This is equipment that have water inside, so you don't want the water to freeze and break the equipment. So we're always rotating equipment to depending on what we are working on.
So the plan is to tear this building down and to build a new, larger facility here, which will house highway and water and sewer divisions under that building.
That's right, and not only will be able to store the equipment, but they'll have office space that they need to operate out of,
right,
and shops. I mean, right now, you saw some of the shops at the water and sewer. We'll probably show you one of the shops we have here that our guys actually worked on and made. But we need proper, areas for working, similar to what the people at the Parks and Recs Department need, when it comes to shops. We need to do the same here as well.
So basically, this has been here since the 60s. This town has grown tremendously, since the 60s. I mean, the 60s wasn't even Burlington Mall times, so this was, constructed prior to everything that has occurred in this town. And we are growing. We continue to grow. So we need to get some facilities that can take us into the future at this point.
And that's correct. Unfortunately, we've been lucky enough to get a lot of support from town meeting to get the equipment that we do have. We just like to be able to maintain it. I mean, we tried to keep equipment for a long time, but it's best if it's stored properly.
Right. And again, when you see the office space here, it is not up to par of what office space should even come close to looking like. And the facilities we have for our employees. I mean, quite often they're here for more than 24 hours at a time. They're here for 36 to 48 hours, and they take downtime. When they're plowing, you can't be plowing that whole 48 hours. They're taking downtime here. We don't have the facilities. We don't even have proper showers here. For them to utilize. So these are the things that we need to grow with, we need to modernize, and we need to provide some aspects of what's just right for our employees.
And even the way it is right now, and everybody's very accommodating, they do their job, they're here, they're going to do it out of whatever facility they may have, but it just doesn't work out well. I mean, the office space that we have is shared by everybody. It's one big room, where everybody gets in there, whether it's contractors,
right,
whether it is the other departments when they come to work here in the wintertime, everybody comes out of this one room, which is not really, again, conducive to doing business.
Yeah, so again, you'll be seeing from the shots, and again, I want to thank, I say again because I haven't done it, Rich Hosford is our cameraman today and taking the shots here, but he'll be basically working in views as we've been talking here of what our highway facility looks like. It is crowded here. We don't have the right facilities, for the future. Even for today, we're way behind, and they're certainly not here for the future. So again, we are going to be seeking $31.5 million for a new combined public works and recreation maintenance facility to take us into that future. We have set it up from a financial viewpoint, so we have the capacity within our financial plan for the future to be able to pay for this as we move forward within the current taxation program that we have. So we have been working towards this program to get there, and we have the financial capacity to do this. So that's why we're asking for town meeting at this point to do this in a two-phase program. The first phase is $16.5 million that we're going to be asking for at the town meeting beginning May 14th, 2018. Then we'll come back in a couple of years for the 15.5 remaining, or 15 remaining.
15.5, John. It's 32.
Okay, it's 32. Okay, so 15.5 remaining in a couple of years to do the second phase, which will include the highway facility as we move forward. So we're here at the Clark and Reid facility, and we're inside one of the current buildings. Right now, Clark and Reid is housing some public works, and we've got some vehicles storing in here. So Clark and Reid is actually, I'm not sure what we would have done without this property, that we purchased, 4 or 5 years ago, and we've really made a lot of use of this property.
Yeah, in fact, the property has been used since pretty much since the time we bought it for different type of storage. The fire department has some storage here as well in one of the buildings. We used to use a facility for out-of-season storage. Some of the snow blowers go in there when we're not using them, things like that. So we've been using this facility as well. We keep our water department's what we call the emergency response vehicles, which is our Vector and the backhoe, which you will need to go out in case of sewer backups or water main breaks in the middle of the winter. You want to make sure that both of them do work when these emergencies do happen. So we keep them inside here where they're heated.
Yeah, and also this is actually station 2 for the fire department today. So they're out on a call, it seems, as we're here, and they might be coming back. But we have, engine 2, a second engine company, which is was on Terrace Hall, but that's being rebuilt. So for another year, they're located here as well. And so we have equipment that would be outside otherwise. So this Clark and Reid has given us a lot of flexibility that we haven't had. And you saw all the equipment we keep outside to begin with. And this would be outside as well, because this was new space we had gotten temporarily. So what we have here, again, we've been talking about a $32 million project to construct a DPW, a joint DPW and recreation maintenance facility between here, the Clark and Reid site, and the current highway site. So John, you want to go over this and give us some details of this?
Yes, thank you, John. The idea of phase one is to utilize the buildings that we currently have at the Clark and Reid property. I mean, we're actually standing right now on this building, which used to be a vehicle maintenance and repair facility when Clark and Reid used to own this property. The idea is to renovate this building where we are standing into a wash bay, a place where vehicles can come in and get washed, whatever time of the year happens to be. We are required by regulation to wash all the vehicles indoors. So this will be a perfect place to build that facility, and this building will be renovated into that. The main part of the Clark and Reid storage facility building will become the Parks and Rec facility for all the vehicles, their shops, and their offices. And I should back up when I said parks. I don't mean the parks department. That will stay where it is right now. I mean the maintenance facility, the outside maintenance facility for them. So they have office space as well as storage space for all the equipment, as well as shops. In the back of that facility, and near where the wetlands and floodplain lines are for this property, because a lot of this property unfortunately can't be utilized, in the back of it we'll have our vehicle maintenance facility, which is what you saw at the highway division we just came from, which is right now only 2 bays and very tight quarters. And the idea is to have a facility, a state-of-the-art facility for the maintenance of all vehicles that the town owns. There will be many phases to it. The facility will also have a place for locker space, bathrooms, which both the recreation maintenance as well as most of my department lacks right now. So we'll have more facilities for that. And there's some storage in the real back of the place for materials, whether it is sand, loam, stone, stuff that we use during construction and repairs of our facilities. So it will be a shared facility. It'll take advantage of saving. If we had a facility separate for the rec department, you'll have to build the same bathrooms and the same things you'd have to do for a facility of this nature. So this is where we'll end up under phase one of the project. This is a $16.5 million project, which will include renovation of the fuel pumps at the town hall annex as well. Thank you, John. So phase two of the project to come in a couple of years after will be to take what it is now our highway division and water and sewer divisions and combine them into one facility. From what you saw earlier, the water and sewer runs out of what used to be an old pumping well, as well as a small garage they have. The idea is to move everybody here into a facility where we can store all the equipment inside, but better yet, have shops. All those shops that you saw in different places, whether it was a mezzanine or a closet or an old well, everything will have a place where they can actually work out of. There will be employee facilities as well as the office space. If you saw in the old building, we have an office in a closet. We have an office that is shared by 4 people and employees, I should say. And this will give a place for that facility to be. This is a $15.5 million upgrade or reconstruction, if you want to call it, to a facility. But this will complete the project right now for us. I mean, right now we have a new salt shed. We will have a facility here at Clark and Reid where we are, and then we'll have the highway, water, and sewer division too.
So hopefully you can see the need. So we've gone through our facilities. We've shown what our facilities look like at this point in time. You've gotten a lot of shots of some of the things we've been talking about. They are substandard facilities. Bottom line, our facilities were basically built in the 60s, prior to the town really grew, and they weren't built to address the needs of Burlington today. So that's why we're putting this proposal forth. It's been talked about for many years, and we're ready to move forward from a financial plan as well as an operational plan to provide for public works and recreation maintenance between the two sites. So we'll be eliminating the use of 4 current sites, consolidate them into 2 sites for this area, and it gives us the space and it'll give us the modern facilities. I think the bottom line is we have financially planned this. So we are in a process now of going through all our committees between Ways and Means, Capital Plan, Selectmen, prior to getting to town meeting to present. And so our plan again is to spend the $32 million over the next 4 years to have everything completed so that we have a public works and recreation maintenance facility that can carry us into the future. So hopefully you've gotten a sense of what we're talking about. We're certainly open to questions, and I'm sure we're going to have many the night of town meeting, which we're prepared to answer as we move forward. So again, my name is John Petrin. I'm Burlington Town Administrator. This is John Sanchez, Public Works Director, and we also had Brendan Egan on the show earlier, who is Director of Recreation. And we just want to give an opportunity to explain why the proposal that'll be at the town meeting for May 14th, 2018. So thank you for joining us.